Newly released police interrogation footage featuring Jonathan Weiss and Rebecca Lamb has just dropped. And let me tell you, the details they shared about Josh Brown, aka Pete, are absolutely jaw-dropping. These are serious allegations that paint a disturbing picture of what allegedly happened behind closed doors at one of Christian television's biggest networks. Before we get started, I want to be clear. These are allegations being investigated by law enforcement. But what Jonathan and Rebecca shared on record is stunning. Note: in this video, we will refer to Jonathan and Susie Lamb's daughter as Young Lamb. Let's break down the 13 most alarming revelations from this footage. Red flag 1. Something definitely happened. Right off the bat, Rebecca Lamb makes a chilling statement. When asked about the allegations, she doesn't hedge or equivocate. She states clearly that, in her view, something happened to Jonathan and Susie Lamb's young daughter.
I think even if I don't trust their motivations 100%, I do think something happened to her.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was scared to come to DAYSTAR. She was affected. Something happened, and I do think something probably happened here.
Here being DAYSTAR.
No, I think in Colleyville, probably their house or something.
Oh yeah, that's for sure where it happened, is Colleyville. Because
that's where they all live.
She describes her as being visibly scared and affected by whatever occurred. This isn't speculation from the internet. This is a family member who knows her personally saying on the record that she believes the young lamb was victimized. Red flag 2. The power grab theory. Here's where things get complicated. The detectives ask about allegations that Jonathan Lamb might be using this situation as a power play to become president of DAYSTAR. Rebecca and Jonathan Weiss acknowledge they've heard this theory from friends, but here's what's crucial. They say even if they don't fully trust Jonathan and Susie's motivations, they still believe something happened to the young lamb.
you go yours first.
Well, we had some friends tell us that my brother's, one of the things he's trying to do through all this is he's trying to become president.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not just, everything that he's doing there, it was intentional. And I know for a year, however so, he was conspiring, he was doing that.
Yeah, and if he really thought that his daughter was touched, he shouldn't have just buried that until it was time to suit him and his career. You know, he should have gotten that addressed. So I don't know if they actually think that, honestly, as much as they just might, they can use this to bring down his mom, which is terrible.
And I said, I question their motivations in the protection of a child, because why did you try to protect our kids?
But they don't care about our kids. It's the bottom line.
Or they don't really...
If they did, if you had a brother-in-law, they would come and tell you if they did something you should look at. Or
it would threaten his plan.
Yeah, because we would have just said, oh, what are you doing? We wouldn't, because we're not dysfunctional, we're functional. So,
Think about that. They're saying her trauma is real, regardless of any family politics at play. Red flag 3. Confusion at the beach house. Both Jonathan Weiss and Rebecca admit they weren't eyewitnesses to the most serious beach house incident because they were outside by the pool with their son when things allegedly went down.
stay away.
We've always cared. And the thing is, too, is that when all of that went down, with someone went upstairs, because there's different versions of that, I have no idea what actually happened, because both of us were outside with Asher.
Yeah,
and that was
true.
part of the problem, too.
And now there's two totally
I just
different
believed
narratives.
Susie.
There's the city view and this,
Yeah.
there's one view that Rachel shared and one view that Susie shared.
Susie says he deliberately went up, and then the other version is it was an accident.
No, Susie says that he went into a trance and his eyes
black
went dark,
eyes,
and
yeah.
he followed her up the room, and she raced to get Jonathan, and he dropped his toothbrush and sprinted up the stairs and caught Josh staring. And then the other version would be, Israel, the son, wanted to show Josh the city view when they went up together to look at the city view, and then nothing changed. So there's two totally different spins on the same thing.
And we have no
And
idea.
we don't know. Honestly, don't know, because we weren't in the room. You can't.
No,
really,
we only saw the after events where my brother immediately came and found us, because we were close to Jonathan and Susie,
Okay.
They describe absolute chaos. Josh allegedly chasing Jonathan around the house apologizing, Rachel and Susie screaming, everyone running to the basement for an emergency family meeting. But here's the kicker. They say there are two completely different versions of what happened, and they honestly don't know which one is true. Red flag 4. Josh banned from their home. Rebecca reveals something deeply concerning. They don't allow Josh around their children, but this wasn't just because of the allegations.
One of the things that was mentioned repeatedly was you guys don't allow Josh at the house. It was kind of the same thing because he's just weird.
Yeah, because one of the things that he would do is he has been really bad to us through the years, and he would treat us one way when my sister was there or my mom was there, and then when no one was there, he would be, I mean, when they were there, he would be decent to us, and when no one was around, he would be mean. And I saw him be that way with my kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my kids are not
confused our
dealing with that
kids.
kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm super protective of my kids anyway. And we didn't have a friendship, so there was no reason for him to come to our house. But I don't trust him.
But then after the allegations came out from
That was-
Susie,
that was
then
a-
it was like, yeah, you're just not allowed here.
Yeah, that was enough for us.
Yeah.
So it
But
wasn't.
there was other reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's a jerk and.
Yeah.
You don't think he's treating your kids right?
Correct.
Okay.
We caught him like being mean to our son once. We didn't know we were looking.
He has manipulative behavior.
And I was just kind of like, I don't want to deal. I don't
I've
want my
caught
kid
him
to deal with
lying.
that. So it's one thing to be mean to me and Rebecca and I as adults. That's like just not tolerable in a professional environment, in my opinion. But you're not going to do things to my kids.
That's where I draw the
That's
line.
not going to happen.
My kids aren't going to have to deal with that kind of back and forth behavior where 1 second you're nice and then you flip on a dime. And then so it's one of the reasons why I don't trust him.
She says Josh would be nice to their kids when other family members were around, but mean and manipulative when no one was watching. She describes catching him being cruel to their son when he didn't know they were looking. As parents, they drew a hard line. Josh is not welcome around their children. Red flag. 5. Sowing family discord. Rebecca doesn't hold back here. She claims Josh deliberately sowed division in the family and only cozied up to Jonathan and Susie Lamb because he saw them as the next leaders of DAYSTAR.
Correct. I don't think they ever really came over.
They never came over.
Right,
Like, we're not friends.
We never were friends. They very
No.
much didn't like us.
Kept their lives private.
Yeah, very much secretive. They really cozied up to Jonathan and Susie because they saw like Jonathan and Susie as like the next ones to lead, and so they very much wanted to be like as close to that as they could. And I think that's part of why they were so into their kids.
Like Rachel and Josh tried to be really buddy-buddy with Jonathan and Susie. We
Yeah.
speculated is it because he was mean to them and then he flipped.
So yeah, I forgot about that.
He sowed a lot of division in our family. And that's something that's not being talked about online. But I personally feel like he has narcissistic tendencies.
According to Rebecca, Josh has narcissistic tendencies and has been terrible to them for years, treating them completely differently depending on who was watching. Red flag 6. The infamous letter. Jonathan Weiss addresses the famous letter that's been referenced repeatedly online. He explains it was a Google document he created to organize his concerns, essentially a brainstorming document listing things he witnessed that alarmed him.
These are the things that we're in this family, right? And these are things that we have seen that we're concerned about, And so it was just written out. I don't know. I never thought that he was going to see the light of day. It really is.
You were gathering your thoughts because
I really was.
we were trying to figure out, is there like was this an accident or is there like, because we care about her, we care about our kids. I mean, we just took it
At the end of the
seriously.
day, despite like Josh's character and the way he's treated my wife and I and like our family,
And our
we have been, professional and loving in the sense that we could have gone online and smeared him and like jumped on this a long, long time ago.
because he's wronged us.
But because we've never seen anything incriminating, we just kept it between us and the professionals, you being one of them. And so it's like,
because it's like, I don't know for sure if he did
that's
or
one of the
not.
worst things you can be accused of.
And so I'm
and not
like,
be.
if you tell the whole world and it's not true, that's wrong.
That's the one.
He emphasizes it was never meant for public consumption. It was simply him trying to make sense of disturbing behaviors he'd observed and deciding whether to report them. Red flag. 7. The NDA clarification. There's been massive speculation about a non-disclosure agreement. Both the attorney present and Jonathan Weiss clarify what this NDA actually said.
If there's an NDA saying you can't talk about a sexual abuse of a child, that's
There's not.
negated.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
That was the accusation.
The NDA, I don't even remember. I'm sure we can get you a copy of it. It's very
I'm sure.
corporate.
Basic.
Don't go online and slander your org. If there's secrets, or not secrets, sorry. If there's, proprietary information, as any business, as this company has, anyone has, that's to remain proprietary. That's it. That's the NDA. The only reason we never said anything is because there was nothing incriminating that we could report that we knew of, and we're not going to go online and play, slander with a bunch of online people. We've always submitted everything to leadership, not only in the family but organizationally, and that's all I can really do.
According to them, it's a standard corporate NDA about proprietary information and not slandering the company online. They adamantly state it does not prevent anyone from reporting CSA, That claim has been completely false. Red flag number 8. Forced kissing incidents. Now we get to the truly disturbing details. Jonathan Weiss describes witnessing Josh force himself on the young lamb to kiss her in the green room, their common area, on 2 separate occasions.
The behavior of Josh towards, like, I saw him, force himself on her to kiss her in the green room setting on 2 separate occasions. And both time I was just like, ooh, just why is he doing that? And I just went and told his parents, Jonathan and Susie, I was like, hey, just so you know, I saw this. Well, one time Susie was sitting there.
She was there.
And I was like going like this, like, Susie.
You're like, hey.
She was like, double the distance from where you are to me. And I was like, and she was kind of pretending like, I don't know what that was. She was pretending like
she wasn't saying
she couldn't see me, which I was doing this. I'm not small, and it's not a big room. So, I don't know what that was, but that was one instance where I saw him like grab her and her trying to shrivel, kind of how kids like, and him force a mouth-to-mouth kiss. And then a separate occasion, I was very close. I was like, this distance, I was sitting at a fridge with my back, and he was coloring at the table, and he came in and was asking for a kiss, kind of like this, and he grabbed her by the face and did a lip kiss on her there. And that was the one that I was close. When you're like 2 feet away from it, I wanted to freak out. It was weird.
It's weird, like a not blood uncle.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay.
And even just anyone, I don't know. I wouldn't kiss.
We're very protective people. We're protective people. We love our knees.
Yeah.
And
He says he saw the young lamb trying to shrivel away and pull back while Josh grabbed her and forced mouth-to-mouth kisses. He reported this to the parents immediately, including one time when Susie was supposedly sitting right there, but seemed to pretend she didn't see it happening. Red flag 9. The graphic details. When pressed for more specifics, Rebecca provides chilling details. She describes Josh getting down on the young lamb's level, whispering repeatedly, give me a kiss, not leaving her alone.
A kiss. I didn't emphasize my question last time, but was it like a peck on the lips, or was it like a full-on adult, gross kiss?
Yeah, I could show you on her. It was pretty gross.
Was it? Okay.
Kind of like this. Like, his lips were open. I just remember because he used to have braces, and I should be like, oh, that's disgusting.
it wasn't just like a.
It
was like a.
A good 2 seconds hold there, and she was just kind of like.
And she was
riding.
turning away. And the thing that I remember seeing is he was right in front of her, and he was this, I mean, literally this close,
Yeah.
and he was down on her level, and he kept whispering, give me a kiss, and he wouldn't leave her alone. It was so weird. You're like, leave her alone. She doesn't want a kiss. That's so strange. She's not even your kid. I wouldn't even do that with my own kids. That was one of the things that we mentioned to everyone. We're like, that was weird.
Yeah.
Why were you doing that? Why were you incessant?
Sounds rough.
It was gross.
She says his lips were open. Remember, he had braces at the time, and he held the kiss for about 2 seconds while the child tried to turn away. Rebecca's reaction says it all. She found it disgusting and couldn't understand why an unrelated adult man would be so insistent on kissing a 3- or 4-year-old child who clearly didn't want it. Red flag. 10. The bathroom incident. Jonathan Weiss references an incident where Josh himself announced to the family that the young girl had walked in on him unclothed while he was in the bathroom during a family vacation.
In 2020, yeah, that was 2020, when he said she walked in on me naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
That was weird.
Those
That
2 incidents.
wasn't the Florida thing, though, right?
No, that was a different
that was
Florida.
the year before.
In Florida.
So the 2 things, and then the other Florida.
The year
and then
before,
that's everything.
This is presented as Josh's own version of events, that it was accidental. However, they later share that a housekeeper witness told them a very different story about what actually happened. Red flag. 11. Jonathan's alleged forgiveness. Rebecca drops a bombshell about her brother Jonathan Lamb's response. She says when she asked him if he really didn't think Josh did something wrong, Jonathan allegedly told her, I don't know, but I know that I prayed over him, and when I prayed over him and forgave him, I felt something break off of me.
No, my brother, my brother eventually came to us and said, I don't know if he did something or not, but I'm forgiving him and I'm dropping it.
Really?
Yes. That's one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why we're like, okay, if you're letting it go, we haven't seen anything incriminating, there's nothing we can do. You're the parent, if that's your choice, we have to respect that.
And he told you that the same. Told you
Yeah,
the
he
same
told
thing.
me
Did it more than
separately.
once.
Because I remember going to him and I said something along the lines of you really don't think Josh did this? And he said, I don't know, but I know that I prayed over him, and when I prayed over him and forgave him, I felt that something break off of me. That's a direct quote. I felt something break off of me, and I'm moving on from that.
Yeah, and when I asked him, I was like, are you going to pursue this or do you know, he said, I don't know if he did it or not, but I forgive him regardless, and I'm letting it go. So I'm like, okay, that's his decision.
I was going to keep going around saying that Josh is weird. You know, the dynamics in the family are already terrible.
That's part of the thing too, is interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
According to Rebecca, Jonathan said he was forgiving Josh and letting it go, regardless of whether anything actually happened. Red flag 12. Trust broken. Rebecca explains why she no longer trusts her brother Jonathan and Susie. Here's her reasoning. If they genuinely believed Josh had done something to their daughter, why did they stay silent for over a year?
And to the parents, too.
And I don't trust them for a lot of different reasons.
You gotta clarify them, because there's a lot of
Jonathan and
about that.
Susie,
Okay.
I don't trust Jonathan and Susie, even though I was close to them. And one of the reasons why I don't even trust their motives in this, of course I don't know their motives, is if you really believe he did something, you sat on that for a whole year and a half or however long and you didn't tell us and we have a daughter, that to me was a huge red flag. You know, because if you care about justice and you care about protecting kids, why was it more important to you to sabotage and do your sneak thing than to come warn us as parents when we've always tried to like look out and do the right thing and care? You know what I mean? That just didn't make any sense to me.
Jonathan Weiss and Rebecca have a daughter too. If Jonathan and Susie truly believed a predator was in the family, why didn't they warn other parents immediately? Rebecca sees this as a massive red flag about their true motivations. Red flag 13. Cut off without explanation. Perhaps most telling, both Jonathan Weiss and Rebecca say Jonathan and Susie completely cut them off without explanation for about 18 months. No communication, no asking them to speak out about what they'd witnessed. Nothing.
Yeah. They cut us off hardcore.
Yeah, they cut us off and they didn't even tell us they were cutting us off. They just cut
But
us
what's
off.
bizarre is if you go online and look at like that, they make it seem like, you know, that they didn't do that or that they're waiting for us to help them in some way.
And I actually ran into him in person for the first time in
Yeah.
a year and a half, and he said nothing to me. I had to engage conversation with him, and he never said, "Can you speak out?" or nothing.
Same
He
here.
acted like
I ran
nothing was
into him
wrong.
actually at F45.
It was so
Yeah,
weird.
he works out with you there?
I mean, we used
It's
to
so awkward.
We used to go together for a long time, and then obviously when he decided that we were the enemy or whatever, so I ran into him there, and he just looked at me and didn't say anything, and I was like hi, and then he said hi back. And that was it.
Didn't say anything like,
No.
hey, will you?
Then the allegations go public, and suddenly, everyone's acting like Jonathan and Rebecca should have said something. But they were frozen out of the family during this entire time period. At the end of the footage, both Jonathan Weiss and Rebecca emphasize they want the truth, whatever it is. They want a thorough investigation. If Josh did something, they want it exposed and dealt with properly. If he didn't, they want clarity so the family can begin healing. What we're seeing here is a deeply broken family with serious allegations, conflicting accounts, possible ulterior motives, and a young lamb caught in the middle of it all. The investigators are still working this case, and clearly there are still witnesses they need to interview, including household staff who may have seen things nobody else did. This is a developing situation, and I'll keep you updated as more information comes out. What do you think about these revelations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, but please keep it respectful. There's a young lamb at the center of all this. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like and subscribe for more updates on this case. Until next time, stay informed and stay safe.